And greetings, everyone. I'm LP Simmons, and I'm in Long Beach, California. And Chevy people, sorry about that. Chevy people, I'm not here, camera, makeup ready. But kind of misread your ad there, but I'll submit anyway. I am an achiever. I have no limits. And it says Chevy Trucks, and I'm going to tell you that Chevy Trucks have helped me be successful, be fearless, because I used to sell Chevy trucks for the Giant Harbor Chevrolet, family owned since 1933. No plug intended. Hello, Randy Johnson. An interesting ownership group because every one of them, the owners, except the current owner, was a district attorney in California. But anyway, you talk about, and I'm looking back, you're talking about achieving goals, and I guess early on in my life, I was kind of fearless. Well, wasn't the smartest kid academically, wasn't the best athlete, and even though now I'm still pretty, I wasn't the prettiest guy. Yet, for some reason, I go to college, I play football, I graduate from college, and I get on TV. Been an extra, been in some movies, been featured also. I guess when it came to start, or how did I become proactive? Well, it was because of the fact that, gee, I'm sitting at home alone. I mean, gee, I couldn't dance. I wasn't popular. The biggest thing, I was left-handed, so I was left out on most activities. So I'm sitting at home watching Michigan play on football on an October and Sunday. Now, fell in love with those funny helmets. I said, well, not only I'm going to play college football, well, I'm going to go to college and play football. And that's when it started there. And because I was shunned by all the other kids, because I was left-handed, because he wouldn't let me play in the reindeer games, well, I kind of was free to freelance, to do whatever I wanted, long as I wasn't going into jail. Now, I've learned how to repair things. I was very mechanically inclined, and in high school, I was repairing radios and TV. I went to a vocational high school, Chicago Vocational. And I mention that because that's not a college prep. No, sir, whatsoever. And, but it was a time of EEOC. And hey, if you wanted to go to college, there was a will, there was a way. Took advantage of it totally. I look back in my high school transcripts, my ACT scores, and then my college transcripts that says degree completed, STEM. It's amazing. It's a miracle. So there's nothing that I can't do. I started in radio as an intern. They cut the program, fell into a cable TV sales job that took me to California. Still wanted to radio, still wanted to voiceovers. Got my first shot, still having the desire, as an extra on AI. Artificial intelligence. They were filming that at the Spruce Goose Stone. But still I have dreams and desires. I have dreams and desires of owning my own home, operating my own business, being proactive and heavily involved in the media. And by the way, that business is a production company. And I have two ideas, one for a game show, one for a talk show. Proactively seeking that. But I honestly believe because of my background, because of my accomplishments, nothing is impossible. And I'm thinking back, and I'm talking to people, and now I was talking to people from Chicago, and they said, hey, remember when we did this program? And that program in the 80s was in Maywood, Illinois, where we went into the schools. Hey, there was no DNA testing. We fingerprinted every kid. We had a voice track, a video track, and this is all on video. There's no digital. There's no internet whatsoever. But what that did indirectly is most of those kids wouldn't dare to do anything illegal Their fingerprints were already on file. And these are grade school kids. Um, Surprised at how I've been able to directly or indirectly give back to the community. I'd love to do more. But as the years go by, with that can-do attitude, I say born again aggressive on the war against the munchies. But with that can-do attitude, nothing is impossible. But I mentioned Chevy Trucks. You know, here it is. I got hey, the cable TV making mergers and acquisitions. Guess what? You know, I got out of a job. Here it is. Hey, I'll try to sell cars. Was very successful. Car salesperson of the year after a year. So there's nothing that I can't do. If I'm willing to attack it, there's nothing that I can't do. And I just want to say part of that, and I'll tell the story in closing. All of that is due to Chevy Trucks. Now, I'm from Chicago, and I say Chevy Trucks, and just a sidebar, and thank you for entertaining. I'm from Chicago. You don't drive a truck in the city of Chicago. Most people only drive cars. Trucks are are commercial vehicles, so you won't see them in residential areas. So one of the first customers that I had on the lot, pulled on the carpet by Randy Johnson. Guy says he's looking at a truck, a CC10753, which is an extended cab truck at that time. That's the model number. By the way, what type of axle is on that truck? And being from Chicago, I said, hey, that's a truck axle. I wasn't trying to be funny. No, I was serious. Then he says, no, I mean for towing. How much will it tow? Well, in Chicago, in Illinois, you can't tow a truck. You can't do any towing unless you're a licensed tow truck. Oh, so I told him that. I'm pulled in the carpet later on by, this is a friend of the dealer's. I told him that. And he says, where'd you get that from? I said, well, it's in the book. Check with the Secretary of State. The Secretary of State hands out driver's license. So automatically, the owner and I, Randy Johnson, are not communicating whatsoever. He tells me in California that they can drive trucks on the street. They can tow if they want. And I'm like, gee, this is a shock. And by the way, I thought a standard transmission was an automatic transmission. But so much for the story. All I'm saying is I'm one of these guys that are proactive. It can be done. I've worked Jiminy Crickets. How is a guy? I worked as a computer salesperson, a value-added reseller, authorized education technical center, merchant services. Hey, I'll send you a resume. But I had fun, and now I'm doing marketing work, outsourcing as a brand ambassador and convention talent. But I'm LP Simmons at 562-546-2494. I know you're looking for people that, that just can't get over the hump, but I can, instead of being that person, I can ask, where's the next hump? And I guarantee Chevy Trucks, Chevy and GM Trucks have been very, very important in my life. I don't drive one. I don't even own a vehicle, but they've been important. That's 9 minutes. Hey, kick back, cool out, cuddle up with a loved one, crack open a bottle of champagne and a can of caviar. Have an Amsterdam good time. Feeling you! Good night.